your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
Streaming from the Tampa Bay 28 Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Friday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live, and let me tell you, there's no score in the Bolts game. There's 9:35 left in the first period, and it has been crazy back and forth hockey. It has been amazingly entertaining hockey with no goals. Both teams have had opportunities to put the puck in the net. They've both had great opportunities. One of the plays, the Bolts had a wide open net, lost his edge, fell. It's going on live right now on the spot. So even if you're not a big hockey fan, you should be watching this because it's really, really entertaining. And the crowd's into it. So, again, no score at this point. 8:57 left in the first period. All right, we have got a lot of weather to talk about. And of late, for the last 6 months, I keep hearing. So, Dave Randorf, obviously a friend of the show. He's been on the show many times talking about it. You know, Brian Engblom is a great analyst. In my opinion, you know, when you watch professional sports, even the home broadcast, a lot of times the announcers will skew a little bit toward the home team, and I'm not even saying the home fans don't want that, but Brian is a really, really good analyst where he says both sides. I mean, if Montreal is doing something well, he'll say it, and I've been really impressed throughout the season watching him, and Dave is awesome, and again, he's been on the show many times. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about timing. We're going to talk about the severe threat. And matter of fact, you know what? Well, let's do some hellos. So we've got Mary. How you doing? Eric, nice to see you as well. That was Gordo. Yeah, Daniel, I didn't see who it was. I just saw the wide open net and just missed it. Jules, nice to see you. So yeah, still no score and a little bit of pushing and shoving. They're not going to want to start a fight in a game like tonight because on a must-win game for the Bolts, you do not want to be sitting in the penalty box at all. Stan in Northdale, how you doing? Gayla, good to see you watching on 17. So I'm wearing this because the last time I wore the Heather, and I'm not a huge Heather fan but the last time I wore this, the Bolts won. Not a tremendously superstitious person, but I broke out all the stops hoping we can win tonight and getting back to a Game 7 at home on Sunday. Denise, how you doing? Not poolside, in the house, literally and figuratively. Healing, how you doing? Nice to see you. So let's go ahead and Lynn in Palm Harbor, nice to see you. Newport Richie's in the house with Mike Terry. A long time no chat. I haven't talked to you in forever. Mary, good to see you. Yeah, so Vassie does look good so far. You wonder if puck luck is going to come into play. On a game like tonight, you wonder if just a crazy bounce is going to be the determining factor. It often is in these kind of games. Yeah, Jules, I saw them talking about cross-checks should have been called and haven't been. the refs might just let them play tonight. And I'm not even okay with that. Sometimes in deciding games, the refs, as they say, swallow the whistles and just let them play. So that might be something that they're going to be doing. We will see. Ocala's in the house with Maxanne. So let's go ahead and talk some weather, because we actually have a lot going on. And, there have been some subtle changes to what we were talking about earlier in the week. It's funny because, I was talking to one of our producers, and on Monday, she's asking me, she's like, hey, is it going to rain on Sunday for the beach? And I go, no, I don't think it's going to be a good beach day, because I don't think the rain ends until about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Well, now it looks like the rain's going to end by about 8 o'clock in the morning. So on Monday, I had to change my forecast from 6 hours. And she's like, what's this, changing? You said it wasn't going to be a good beach day. I'm like, come on. 6 days out, and you're giving me slack over a 6-hour change. But that's where we are these days, right? That is where we are these days. People just, they expect perfection. And we strive for perfection, I'm not going to lie. But we are going to fall short many a time. All right, so let's jump in. Okay, Kevin, how you doing? Hail? Possibly. This time of the year, possibly some hail, yeah. Air aloft should be cold enough. And then Lorraine, Apollo Beach. All right, first of all, what are we looking at here? This is the severe threat risk. Now, let's talk about this map, okay? Storm Prediction Center. Yeah, we are not on Frontier anymore, Debbie. Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about that briefly. So, as of Wednesday night at midnight, the spot is not on Frontier. How about that? And I'm buzzing Frontier on that one. So not only is DPL not on Frontier, neither are these Lightning games. So, but isn't it interesting they waited until the last, or almost the last Lightning game to raise a fuss, whatever it is they're arguing about. I have no idea. I have no idea what's entailed in any of that stuff. I just know the DPL is not on Frontier anymore. All right, let's get back to weather. So anyway, yes, Eric, you should bring your rain gear to Epcot for the evening. Was not selected, Kurt. Was not selected to be part. I was last time, but not this time. I strongly suggest boating as a no-go tomorrow, Kelly, and I'll talk more about that. Tomorrow morning, it is going to be windy, Heidi, but it will not be severe. There will not be shear. So, yes, you will have a pretty strong southwest wind tomorrow, but you will not have to worry about shear out of the airport until maybe early evening. Sarasota's in the house with Judith. All right, so there's a look at the severe threat. Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? The severe threat is a scale of 0 to 5, obviously 0, 0. 1 is marginal, 2 is slight, 3 is enhanced, 4 is moderate, 5 is high, okay? Jamie, I do think potentially his flight could be impacted. There could be a delay on that. So a marginal risk is extremely low, obviously. A slight risk is still low, but a little bit higher, less than 15% chance of severe weather. Then you go into enhanced and moderate. We hardly ever in our area get a moderate or a high risk of severe weather. So the area in yellow is Hernando, Citrus, and Northwestern Pasco. All right? Everybody else is marginal. So I think you all know that the accuracy on these in this area are not great. SPC has a real tough time forecasting severe weather in our area. It's a challenge. So, in my opinion, and I'll get into this in just a minute, Rob's saying, is this a situation where the squall line looks impressive offshore and then when it gets close, it falls apart? Yes. Not completely, Rob, but yes. And the models are showing that as well. So I'll go ahead and show you that with Futurecast and the models in a second. There's a look at radar right now. All's quiet. Temperatures right now, low to mid-80s, upper 80s Lakeland to Winter Haven to Bartow, lower 80s Sarasota, Bradenton, St. Pete, and Clearwater. Right now, 77 St. Pete. No, that was lows this morning. I was going to say, wait a minute, that's not right. Lows this morning only dropped down to... There is a possibility of water spouts. There absolutely is, David. And we'll get into that in a second as well. I'll cover all this stuff. 69 this morning in Lakeland, 70 in Zephyr Hills, 68 in Brooksville and Crystal River. Highs today, low 90s inland, mid to upper 80s along the coast. Another really nice day. Looking outside right now, over Ray J, 82 degrees and mostly sunny. The dew point beginning to rise a little bit at 68. Remember, the dew point of 70 or higher is when we start to notice, the humidity. The frizz factor or the hair dew index gets wild once those dew points go over 70. I like the frizz factor. We used to use that a lot. I used to use a graphic that had the frizz factor. And Trina Robinson, our anchor in the morning that I used to work with in the morning. Robert in the Villages, how you doing? Trina Robinson, our anchor, we had a picture of her with her hair all frizzy when the frizz factor was high. So today we hit the mid to upper 80s, the morning low, 7 degrees above average. All right, there's a look at the radar. It's all quiet. Clouds will be building overnight somewhat. And we will be mostly cloudy by tomorrow morning. We will be dry early in the morning, all right? Now, that sunshine that we're going to get destabilizes the atmosphere even more. So I do think late afternoon storms as the front comes in could be a little bit of an issue for the severe weather threat in a small or mesoscale factor. In other words, small areas that are heated, and I call it self-destructive sunshine, can very easily see a couple of severe storms. I do not anticipate a widespread severe weather event. However, I do think there will be a few feistier storms. Thanks for the update, Corey. Rays up 1-0. I'm going to the game tomorrow. Oh, boy. Big save by Vassy there. So, Kathy, how you doing? Yeah, I'm going to the Rays game tomorrow night. My son has been wanting to go. He has not gone. He's a huge Rays fan. My son, Jake, my youngest son. And so tomorrow, check out the schedule. So tomorrow, I'm going to be live at the Pasco County Hurricane Expo. And I'm watching the game. So I'll be live at the Hurricane Expo, panel discussion from 11:30 to 12:30. Then my daughter Ryan has a recital in St. Pete from 2 to 4:30. And then we got tickets, since we're going to be in St. Pete anyway, to see the Rays game at 6:20 tomorrow. So this is a great game. I mean, this is a really amazing game with no score. Anyway, so that's my day tomorrow. I will be at the Rays game. But at the same time, we will be tracking, at that point, some severe weather around the area. Oh, Kathy, you went on a Margaritaville cruise. I'm going to be going on one again in August. All right, so noon, the rains are still to the northwest of us. All right? By 4 o'clock, the line starts to move in. Now, you remember, you heard me talk about the heating of the day. So within this line, there will be some embedded, stronger storms. And there's always a possibility when a storm, I will be in Safety Town tomorrow, Freddie. Yep, that's where I'm going to be, between 11:30 and 12. I mean, 11:30 and 1. So you will have some ingredients possible for some isolated severe weather within this main line. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and back this up a little bit so we can kind of see hour by hour for you. So there's 4 o'clock. Now, this is very disconcerting because I know there are weddings tomorrow afternoon along the coast, and I know there's birthday parties, and I know there's lots of things going on. And it makes me sad because these people are going to be running into issues. So this is 4 o'clock tomorrow. This is 5 o'clock tomorrow. You see the discrete cells that try to develop along this line. And within the line, as the heating of the day maxes and the line comes in, you will see some isolated severe weather. You will not see widespread severe weather. You will see a widespread area of rain, even though that line will be broken, But within that area of rain, there will be some stronger storms and potentially a couple of severe storms. But I'll say it again, officially just a slight risk. I mean, if you scroll through Facebook feeds, it's end of the world stuff. I swear, it drives me crazy. And I see it from a lot of Mets that surprise me. So bullish on the severe threat. There will be a few severe storms probably, maybe even a warning or two. But overall, widespread, probably not. But then we get to 7 o'clock, and this moves through the metro area, and there's going to be some pretty heavy thunderstorms out there, potentially a few warnings. And within this area, there is the chance that you could get a quick spin-up tornado or a waterspout that moves onshore. This is not a particularly large tornado threat. Matter of fact, it is a 2% or less threat, according to SPC. But that threat is not zero. And I'll be honest, I have many times over the years when that threat is super low still seen tornado threats and tornadoes develop. So we will not completely eliminate that chance. Jason will be updating tomorrow. I will be updating tomorrow. Allie will be updating tomorrow. Greg is in San Diego. He'll probably be updating as well. That's what we do as our team. By 8 o'clock tomorrow night, the line continues to move south. By 9 o'clock, the severe threat seems to go away, and the line begins to weaken. So the best chances of severe weather will be along and north of I-4, primarily between about 4 o'clock p.m. and 9 o'clock tomorrow night. All right? And then Sunday morning, we clear from north to south. So the way this works out is most of Saturday will be dry, and most of Sunday will also be dry. 8 o'clock, it's already moved through. It's just hanging in there in the southern counties, and that's about it. So that is kind of the timing. All right, now we'll talk about individual severe threat coming up in a minute. All right, so Corey, there are many apps out there. Apparently, we no longer own Storm Shield. I still use it, but I've also purchased a couple of other ones myself with maybe a little more accurate radar data. Should we stay off the roads when this hits? Eddie wants to know. You know what, Eddie, this is going to be one of these things that maybe for 20 minutes it might be a little rough, but overall, I would argue this is no different than a summertime thunderstorm. So if y'all drive in the summer, 10 seconds left in the first period, still no score. They caught a penalty on the bolts. That's a bunch of nonsense. So Montreal will be on the power play the last 10 seconds of the period and the first minute 50 of the second period. I'm going to buzz the refs on that one. It was a high stick, apparently. All right, anyway. So I'm going to ban the refs. All right. All right, so again, Saturday, that rain that you see, that is between 4 o'clock and midnight. Sunday, that rain you see is from midnight to 8 a.m. So most of the daylight hours on Saturday and Sunday will be dry. Kathy, if that happened, it's purely a Facebook thing. I have nothing to do with it. Nothing. And I wouldn't think flights would be delayed until, if there is, maybe for an hour, hour and a half in the early evening. All right, that's the end of the first period, no score. And again, Montreal starts with a minute 50 power play. Leisha, how you doing? All right, so that's the timing. All right, this unfortunately is accurate. And let me tell you why it's accurate. Because as is often the case with a front that moves through rather slowly, quickly, there's just not enough time for it to dump a lot of rain on you. You could get again, I'll say this again, think July thunderstorm. Think the 20-minute storms that really opens up, and then that's the worst of it, and then maybe just a little bit of rain along with that. So in that short period of time, you can get a half an inch of rain, maybe even an inch of rain, but you won't see the prolonged rains. So that's kind of the way that I think this is going to play out, all right? Now, and we were talking about this on DPL all week long. I kept seeing all these posts about, oh, we're going to get 3, 4, 5 inches of rain. Oh, we're going to have widespread severe weather. I'm like, look, it's May. I don't care what the models are saying 6 days out. They're going to back off on that by the time we get closer to the event because it's May. All right, anyway, let's get back to it. So there's a look at potential rainfall the next 5 days, which really is going to just be on Saturday. Now, for the boaters, and people were asking about boaters. No update on that, Denise. They might have a steel cage match, actually, to decide who actually gets to keep it. Yep, and I will show you the GFS in just a second, Corey. It is going to be extremely windy tomorrow, even before this squall line comes in. It is not a good day to take the boat out. Even before the weather gets bad, it is not a good day. It is going to be 4 to 6 foot seas, southwest winds 20 to 25 knots, and a water temperature right now of 78 degrees. So I say this over and over again. It is, now for Miami on Sunday afternoon, Rich, there is a chance of some rain. There's your beach tomorrow. Dry in the morning between 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock, the line comes in. And here is the 7-day. 70% to 80% coverage tomorrow, late afternoon through the evening. 40% coverage early morning before 10 a.m. And then sunshine in the afternoon. And then potentially another front coming in. All right, let's read something for you here. All right, here is a look at what SPC is saying. All right, and this is worth noting. All right, I'm going to read this. It's a lot, but I'm going to read it anyway and explain it to you because it will answer a lot of your severe weather questions. Convection will be ongoing early Saturday morning. The intensity of this early activity is not certain, though thunderstorms will be in a highly sheared environment. An initial warm layer around 700 millibars may limit overall intensity before modest cooling aloft occurs mid to late morning. At least filtered heating is expected to occur south of the front, and that's what I was talking about, self-destructive sunshine, as I call it. The Cape by the afternoon of 1,000 to 1,500 joules per kilogram. So that is not tremendously high, but it's enough to create some severe weather. You normally look for a Cape over 2,000 when things start to really kick in. So with shear parallel to the cold front, there's potential for the front to undercut some of the convection. However, one of the organizing linear segments could still occur along south of the boundary. Wind damage would likely be the primary hazard with this activity. It's because of lack of shear, more rotation. Less shear, unidirectional wind, more wind damage, but not tornadic. Large hail is still a possibility, but would be somewhat conditional on a discrete storm mode. Again, those individual cells. The tornado threat remains less certain. The low-level jet will be strongest in the morning before lifting north and east through the day. So in other words, the low-level jet, which is the energy source for this, is going to be pulling away from the front as it approaches our area. While the overall threat for a tornado or two appears low, there is a narrow zone in North Florida, not our area, North Florida, where marginally stronger low-level shear and boundary layer destabilization may favorably align mid to late morning. Again, by the time the front gets here, most of that energy will be away. Deb, okay, so it is very sciencey, Rob. Deb, the first half of Saturday will be a good beach day. It'll be windy, water temperature 76. Just get out of the beach by 3 or 4 and you'll be fine. It won't be a bad beach day at all. All right, so lastly, uncertainty in the position of the boundary low layer thermodynamics is too high for an increase in tornado probabilities. So that is the science-y part from the Storm Prediction Center. All right, it's good stuff. Now, when we look at the Euro, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, 8 p.m. tomorrow night, and that is when the line really blows through. So again, late afternoon through the middle evening is when the heaviest weather will be. But see how it is not a solid line? It is a broken line. By 2 a.m., it moves south. By 8 a.m. Sunday, it's gone. And we clear out. And then we stay clear until probably, I think, like next Thursday night. Let's see if that, there comes the front. There's Thursday afternoon. Actually, the Euro is backing off on that now. Ooh, there's Friday afternoon. So the Euro is trying to bring something next Friday, too. And that is interesting because the storm track is actually pretty active. The subtropical jet is pretty active for the next couple of weeks. Here's the GFS. By the way, here's the Cape. And all you would need to know to look for this is you look for a lot of reds and oranges in our area, and you're really not seeing that. However, at this brief period of time, as it comes through, you might see enough energy for an isolated severe storm. And then this is the enhanced Cape. This is the energy helicity. So this is kind of a combination of the surface Cape and then 3,000 meters helicity. So this is highlighted where it should be severe. And you notice as it comes through our area, it kind of breaks down. So we do not expect any widespread severe weather. All right, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, here's the GFS. 8 p.m., 8 a.m. on Sunday, it moves through. There's the Miami. So the question's about Miami. That's 8 o'clock Sunday night. So maybe it holds off until late afternoon in Miami, but there's definitely going to be some rain for South Florida on Sunday. See you, Eric. Here's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the next front comes in. There's the Euro, there's the GFS, there's the Euro. Pretty similar. Neither one particularly bullish next week. But the point is, they continue to swing fronts through, even through the middle of the month. So we're not seeing high pressure building in quite as much behind this over the next couple of weeks. We are getting some fronts moving it through. Anthony, give it to us straight for Saturday and Sunday in Pinellas Park. Oh, it's Anthony, it's Izzo, how you doing? I've been giving it to you straight for the last 30, 25 minutes, Anthony. Where you been? Where you been? Mother's Day, too early to tell. Where you been, Anthony? So, rain tomorrow, late afternoon through 11 p.m. Heaviest between 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Couple of severe storms possible, a broken line, gusty winds, maybe. There will not be widespread severe weather, period. There might be an isolated severe weather warning, certainly gusty winds with these storms as they move through, and they'll be in and out like any other typical summer thunderstorm within an hour. All right? So very windy, Diane. I'm going to be at the Trop, too. I'm going to the game tomorrow, too. Streamers, have a good night. We'll be updating 24/7. Keep it on our Facebook pages. Have a great night. We'll see you on Monday. Okay, so streamers are out. My head has been hurting for like 3 days. I don't know why. I don't ever get headaches, ever. But I'm getting like a sharp pain here, a sharp pain here, a pressure pain here. I don't know what's going on. I don't think it's stress, but maybe it is. Emily wants to know if there's any severe weather risk for Tallahassee or Gainesville. Yes. I mean, potentially. Oh, the Magic are up. If they win that game, I think they win the series, don't they? I think. Ooh, my head hurts. Severe threat for Gainesville and Tallahassee. It will be a little bit higher than it will be for our area. Still in the slight risk, though. Still in that category, as you see behind me. The category, here, I'll show it to you again. Maybe I won't. Caught up for you one more time, and then I'm going to go watch the game. But we will be updating Jason and me and Greg out of San Diego. I don't think it's allergies. Get a CAT scan. I don't want to get a CAT scan, Lisa. It just started like 4 days ago, out of the blue. Out of the blue. All right, I'm not going to say it. But let's just say after I ate a lot of spicy food, it started. I can't imagine that would be it. But no, I really don't think it's not pollen. It's like nerves. I think it might be a voodoo doll. I honestly think it might be someone with a voodoo doll because it feels really sharp, like a really sharp pain right here, like nerve endings, really sharp here, and then really sharp here, and then more like pressure pushing here, like thump, thump, thump. I think it's a voodoo. I think it's a voodoo doll. All right, Ryan, 50-30? Holy cow. Did you guys see the Knicks in Atlanta last night? Man, I've never seen anything like that. 50-30, holy cow. Spring Hill, Yummy Boo. Spring Hill, your time frame is, well, here, let's go to Futurecast again. I know, Daniel, it's ridiculous. This is a CAT scan. No, why? Why would I want to get a CAT scan? And it just started like 3 or 4 days ago. It's just like out of the blue, like literally, really crazy. My blood pressure's fine. Blood pressure's fine. I'm sticking to the voodoo doll. I'm sticking to the voodoo doll. I think that's the highest likelihood. ER, come on, Mary. No, it's not a sinus infection. It's definitely not sinus. But it's like, it's Mama Leone, I think, or something, with the voodoo doll. All right, there's a look again at that severe threat. So off to the north, there definitely is a higher threat than there would be in our area. So that would be Gainesville and Tallahassee. Someone get me to the doctor. Valrico, about 6 o'clock. No. Oh, yeah, about 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It's just weird. I can't explain. I don't know why, but I mean, it does. It feels like someone's stabbing me in the back of the head right here. Like right there. Like sharp pain. But in here, it's like pressure. Voodoo. It's voodoo. All right. All right. I think that's about it, guys. I think that is about it. You know what? Like, I never get headaches, ever. Like, I don't. Maybe I've had 10 headaches in my life. I never get headaches, but all of a sudden it's just like. Shh. Anyway, St. Augustine vacation. How are the chances for tornadoes, Danny? I wouldn't worry about it. If you Google anything, you won't blow it off. WebMD is a curse. You guys know what I'm talking about. You put your symptoms into WebMD, either it's a hangnail or you're going to die. It's one or the other. There's no middle ground. So, Spring Hill. You know, let's go back and look at, I was just getting comfortable too. All right, stand by. All right, I'll give you Futurecast one more time, and then I'm going to go watch a game. Okay? All right, Futurecast. This will answer all your questions. All right, here we go. So, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. All right, now watch your city that you're interested in. Okay? This reminds me of hurricane coverage. All right, here's 9 o'clock. There's 10 o'clock. There's 11 o'clock. There's noon. Okay. I will be at Pasco County. I will be at the Hurricane Expo tomorrow at this time from 11:30 to 12. Unless the voodoo doctor or the voodoo doll has something else for me. There's 1 o'clock. There's 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock. And midnight. And then it pushes through. The severe threat will be over by 9 p.m. Not a sinus infection, definitely not. Because it wouldn't be the sharp pain. That's the thing, but the whole sharp thing. By the way, I'm going to tell you, Izzo, every single person who ate that spice started sneezing. And I did too. I did too. And I'm going to be honest, it did briefly think to my mind, maybe it's a sinus thing from hot peppers. But the back of my head, the sharp, is voodoo. All right, guys, that's it. We will update. I promise you, we will be updating all the time. Jason and me and Greg in San Diego and Allie. Allie travels a lot. Allie lives a good life. She's going to be all sorts of places. I'm going to be at Pasco County tomorrow for the Hurricane Expo, Shady Hills. I'm going to be at the Rays game tomorrow night. If you're at the Rays game, let me know. And Sunday, hopefully, we'll be watching Game 7. That's our hope. No scores. We're about to start the second period. Watch the game on the spot. You guys, I don't use headphones. You guys make me laugh. But where's the Hurricane Expo? It is at, it's a good question. I'll tell you, and then I'll go. It's, I can't remember. It's like Shady Hills, Safety Town, I think. Something like Safety Town and Shady Hills. I got to figure that out before I go tomorrow. All right, I'm going to watch a game. Have a great weekend. Be safe. If the voodoo doll lets me, or the voodoo Mama Leone, if she lets me, I'll be back, God willing, on Monday. Have a great night. Have a good weekend. We'll be updating 24/7 as the storms move through tomorrow. Have a good night. We'll see you on Monday's edition of DPL.